From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Melinda Akilami.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, the Forum of Former Federal Legislators advocate the need to maintain rotational presidency between the North and South for the sake of unity and national development. Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, says the People's Democratic Party will shock its critics in the upcoming Osun and Ekiti governorship elections. Vice President Kashim Shettima returns to Nigeria after the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland, says Nigeria back on global economic frontline. And U.S. President Donald Trump threatens Canada with 100% tariffs over China trade deal.
On sports news tonight, Serbian tennis legend Novak Djokovic becomes the first player to win 400 Grand Slam matches after reaching the fourth round of the Australian Open.
The Forum of Former Federal Legislators is advocating for a rotational presidency to maintain national unity and development. The ex-lawmakers spoke at a national summit in the nation's capital, Abuja, that focuses on unity and nation building beyond 2031, organized by the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila. The former President of the Senate, Pius Ayim, asked lawmakers to make the issue a constitutional matter to avoid debates and constant struggles between the North and the South.
Thank you very much. Who is the former?
Call it a reunion of some sort, and you may not be completely wrong. Former legislators converge on the main conference hall of the NAF Center in Abuja for a national summit on unity and nation building beyond 2031.
Whom today God has blessed us with his presence.
Convened by the former speaker, who is the current chief of staff to President Tinubu, the gathering provides an opportunity to discuss national politics, and the issue of rotational presidency is at its core.
Without any pretense, one of the root causes of conflict in our society had always been the struggle for control of power. One is therefore tempted to ask, is it not time for us as a people to consider the codification of power rotation between the North and South in our status?
I want to say that this summit should not rise without coming up with that recommendation that we needed rotation in our constitution to stabilize our politics.
Conversations around the need to support President Tinubu to complete his tenure before power goes to the North is also of interest for some here.
My leader talked about oppositions. We've had some of them who want to be loved for who they are really not, instead of being hated for who they are. Time has come for all of us here who know where the proverbial dead bodies are buried to remind them that in 2027 we will stand up for the best of who we are. We will not bow down to the worst of who we are.
This summit also speaks to the importance of continuity in democratic governance. Democracy thrives not only on elections and institutions, but on shared values, collective memory, and responsible leadership across generations.
The keynote is presented by the Chief of Staff to the President, who underpins the importance of prioritizing national unity over personal political interests.
The principles of a rotational presidency between the North and the South stands as one of the clearest expressions of principled compromise in the service of our national interest. We are witness today of a political party, a behemoth, a powerful party in this country at one time that seems to have been destroyed now. That party was destroyed because some people in that party did not believe in the unity of Nigeria. That party was destroyed because some people did not believe in the doctrine of rotational presidency. Surely, if one party, a massive party, can be brought to its knees because of what people thought was unfair, I shudder to think what could happen to Nigeria when people begin to think that things are unfair, whether you're from the south or from the north.
Although the theme of the summit focuses on the unity and development of Nigeria beyond the year 2031, the Forum of Former Legislators believes strongly that the political decisions that will be taken during the 2027 general elections could impact the country's well-being.
Staying with politics, members of the People's Democratic Party have been asked to remain focused with a deep sense of commitment and responsibility. The Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, made a call in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, during a stakeholders meeting attended by party chieftains from across the southwest states. Governor Makinde also stated that the party would shock its critics beyond imagination in the off-circle Osun and Ekiti governorship elections, as well as the 2027 general elections.
PDP is well and alive. Whoever thinks otherwise will be surprised beyond their imagination. So my charge to you is, please, hold your communities, hold your ward, hold your local government, and it will be well with us. It shall be well with you. Thank you and God bless you.
The Emeka Beke-led River State faction of the All Progressives Congress has welcomed the affirmation of Governor Siminalayi Fubara as the leader of the party in the state, describing it as a vindication of its long-held position. In a press statement issued and signed by the party's spokesman, Mr. Darlington Waruju, the party said the affirmation conveyed through the President's Special Advisor on Policy Communication, Mr. Daniel Wala, reflected President Tinubu's commitment to the APC Constitution and established party conventions. The Rivers APC leadership commended President Tinubu for reaffirming the principle that APC governors should lead the party at the state level to ensure effective mobilization and organizational efficiency. However, the Rivers APC group sharply criticized comments credited to the National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Felix Moka, on the impeachment process against Governor Fubara and his deputy, stressing that the remarks were personal opinions that ran contrary to the party's core values of mentorship and internal discipline. Meanwhile, some civil society organizations and APC leaders are calling for urgent constitutional intervention in the escalating political crisis in Rivers State. They demand that the National Assembly take over the legislative functions of the Rivers State House of Assembly in line with Section 11 of the Constitution. Addressing journalists at a rally held at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja, the group led by Mr. Ifeanyi Okorie declared that the Rivers State House of Assembly had lost credibility, legitimacy, and public trust.
The crisis in Rivers State has reached a point where urgent constitutional intervention is unavoidable. The Rivers State House of Assembly has lost credibility, legitimacy, and the confidence of the people. A legislature that weaponizes impeachment and disregards judicial authority cannot continue to exercise legislative powers. We therefore call on the National Assembly to immediately invoke Section 2, subsection 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which empowers it to take over the legislative functions of a State House of Assembly where prevailing circumstances make it unable to function.
We acknowledge the principled pronouncement by the Rivers State Chief Judge who declined to set up a probe panel and chose to respect subsisting court orders, this decision reinforces the supremacy of the law and exposes the illegality surrounding the impeachment attempt. The conduct of the Rivers State House of Assembly reflects procedural lawlessness, vendetta politics, and disregard for democratic stability. Such a legislature has lost moral authority and public trust. We therefore call on APC leaders at the national level to rise in defense of democracy and reject this unconstitutional impeachment plot.
In Delta State, APC stakeholders met in Asaba, reinforcing calls for unity, aggressive e-registration, and effective mobilization as the party inches closer to its congresses. The meeting, held amid growing anticipation within party ranks, attracted top national and state leaders, setting a confident tone ahead of crucial political activities.
The banquet hall of the Government House, Asaba, is the venue for this critical stakeholder engagement as party leaders, members and supporters exchange warm greetings upon arrival. The party leader in the state, Governor Sheriff Oborevori, is also here, and top on the agenda is the e-registration exercise, the upcoming congresses, and the need to foster peace and unity ahead of the elections. The party chairman, Sobotie Omeni, begins with a 1-minute silence in honor of the late Senator Peter Nwoboshi, who died a few weeks ago. He describes the gathering as a show of unity, expressing confidence at the level of development the state has experienced under the current administration.
Let me thank the governor who has made our work as members of the APC very, very easy. While we were not together, the minister was trying to make this observation when he was in the area, not even to and we saw what is happening already. And just to say, what is man can we defeat him? What is your own say to be difficult?
Other stakeholders call for strategic engagement ahead of the congresses.
My simple advice is that let us try and draw consensus and form leaders. No one person should start compiling any list. That causes trouble. Don't start compiling any list. When there cannot be one size fits all. So you can't say the government has said that it is 70-30. So it is the whole state. This government is 70-30. We are going 70-30. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. I'm here to speak specifically. I'm trained to be so. I'm trained to be open and clear my thoughts. Meet and accommodate yourself and try and get consensus now so to reduce tension. I can see that in most places, yes, we have about 5 people or even less going out to register people. But I think we must move it beyond having static offices or places where they do registration. We must take it just as we campaign to the various offices and before this numbers. Because if I carry the card of a party, the likelihood is that I will vote for that party. It may not be always, but 80 to 90% of such persons will likely vote if we continue to keep on relating to them at the grassroots.
My support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ready to hope agenda is firm and enduring. And to our governor, Sheriff Oborevori, be assured that with my commitment to a legacy of qualitative governance, I am ready to collaborate with you to strengthen our party and deliver on its promises to our people.
Urging members to shun division, Governor Oborevori emphasized that massive mobilization and voter registration would be key to delivering votes for President Bola Tinubu and other APC candidates in 2027.
What we will produce on the day of election for Mr. President, that's the only thing that will give us the power to speak, the power to hold any position. In the last election, River came first. Akwa Ibom only 30%. It is the only state that was available more in the South. Are you not seeing the benefits? If you say you're not seeing the benefit, that means you don't have eyes.
As the preparations for the Congresses gather momentum, the Delta APC is looking forward to renewing confidence and ensuring effective mobilization to shape its political future.
In part two, after the break, Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission makes a case for the establishment of special courts to fast-track the trial of corruption cases. That's in a moment. Join us again. Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. The Forum of former federal legislators advocate the need to maintain rotational presidency between the North and South for the sake of unity and national development. Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, says the People's Democratic Party will shock its critics in the upcoming Osun and Ekiti governorship elections. Vice President Kashim Shettima returns to Nigeria after the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland, says Nigeria back on global economic frontline. The U.S. President Donald Trump threatens Canada with 100% tariffs over China trade deal. Vice President Kashim Shettima has returned to Abuja after a week-long diplomatic and economic mission to Guinea-Conakry and Switzerland. A statement by his senior special assistant on media and communications said the vice president arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport today after representing the president at the inauguration of Guinea's President and World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. According to the statement, the trip is part of Nigeria's renewed commitment to regional solidarity in West Africa and its determination to reposition the economy under President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. In Conakry, the vice president reaffirmed Nigeria's leadership role within ECOWAS, opening new pathways for bilateral cooperation in agriculture and manufacturing. From Guinea-Conakry, Vice President Shettima proceeded to Davos, where he led the Nigerian delegation at the WEF 2026. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, has reiterated the call for the establishment of special courts to fast-track the trial of corruption cases due to the delay tactics employed by the council to some accused persons. At the 2025 edition of the Reward and Recognition Ceremony of the Commission in Abuja, the EFCC boss revealed that the current success rate of its convictions can only get better with special courts.
That I'm also an advocate of specialized courts. Of course, there's no doubting the fact that when we have it in place, we'll be able to fast track, the prosecution processes, and that will also help us in realizing and achieving our mandate and help the country in reducing the threat of financial crimes and corruption within our polity and within our system. I believe in this, and I believe it's something that has to be done. We are yet to make our results formally and officially public. So I may be constrained to tell you the number of convictions and recovery, but I can tell you we have a modest achievement, and we have done well. Our recoveries, I tell you, are in billions of naira and some millions of dollars, and in conviction, I think we have recorded some hundreds of thousands. Some thousands. So that's what I can release to you, to the public now. But formally, by the time we tidy up our records, we'll be able to lay our report before Nigeria.
The 14th meeting of the National Council on Lands, Housing and Urban Development has come to an end in Ilorin, Kwara State, with resolutions expected to reposition land administration, housing delivery and the urban development sector. The meeting had participants from the public and private sector all united around strategies to tackle the country's housing deficit and fast-paced urbanization.
As Nigeria's cities expand and demand for affordable housing grows, the National Council on Land, Housing and Urban Development remains a key platform for policy alignment and collaboration across all levels of government. At its 14th meeting in Kwara State, discussions focus on land administration as a driver of housing delivery. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Ahmed Dangiwa, stresses the need for faster land titling, digitized records and lower transaction costs to attract investment and boost economic growth.
Our approach to urban renewal focuses on upgrading neighborhoods, improving infrastructure, valorizing tenure where possible, and creating faster, healthier, more protective communities. Through the National Urban Renewal and Slum Upgrade Program, we have already delivered over 240 projects nationwide, with over 100 more ongoing at various stages of completion. Also, on promoting local building materials, which is the theme, one of the biggest drivers of housing and affordability in Nigeria today is our heavy dependence on imported building materials and components.
Kwara State Governor, Mr. Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, who was represented by his deputy, Mr. Kayode Alabi, reaffirms the state's commitments to transparent land administration, urban renewal and infrastructure development, while urging investors to explore emerging opportunities.
Acknowledge and especially commend the collaboration and support of the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development to the state, particularly the transfer of National Housing Program projects in Ogun. We acknowledge the social economic prospects of the Renewal Hope Social Housing Scheme to the citizens and look forward to the takeoff of the building material manufacturing hub, as well as the proposed Aqua Greek project in Kwara Smart City. We note that the most significant factor inhibiting efficient housing delivery for average Nigerians today are the price of the building materials. It is our opinion that any effort to ensure sustained delivery of houses in Nigeria must necessarily prioritize local content development.
On his part, the chairman of the House Committee on Urban Development and Regional Planning assures stakeholders of the National Assembly's support for implementing the Council's resolutions.
As chairman of the House Committee on Urban Development and Regional Planning, I wish to reaffirm the commitment of the House of Representatives to supporting legislative and oversight frameworks that promote efficient land administration, sustainable urban renewal and inclusive housing delivery across Nigeria, and to assure you of our readiness to work closely with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development and all other relevant stakeholders to translate the outcomes of this council into actionable legislation, oversight and measurable impact.
Participants expressed optimism that the meeting's outcomes will strengthen federal-state collaboration, speed up housing delivery, and promote sustainable urban development nationwide.
Residents of Ichuzo community in Owerri North local government area of Imo State have appealed to Governor Hope Uzodinma to intervene and reconsider the decision to destroy houses allegedly built along the right-of-way of a transmission line in the area. During a peaceful protest, the residents insist that all necessary approvals and building certifications were obtained from relevant government agencies before the construction of their homes, some of which were built over 6 years ago. They describe the 2-week eviction notice issued to them as distressing. Our correspondent, Eyitope Kutei, has this report.
Marked for demolition, removed within 14 days. These inscriptions now dominate several buildings in Issues of Community, Egbu, Owerri North Local Government Area of Imo State, as the state government maintains that the affected area was legally acquired over 20 years ago as the right-of-way for a critical national power transmission project. This development has plunged many residents and landlords into uncertainty, anxiety, and confusion as families face the looming threat of displacement. Determined to make their voices heard, the affected residents and property owners staged a peaceful protest, appealing to Governor Hope Uzodinma for urgent intervention. They insist that they follow due process before building, having secured all required approvals and certifications from appropriate government authorities.
So we are calling upon the governor to please come to our rescue, hear from us, set the investigation panel to come and find out that all of us here that build here, we have an approval from the OCDA, an approval for the Ministry of Lands to build this place. And even the villagers collected every few that's supposed to collect from us. We paid all. And what we are saying now is that this place is a power line. We know governor will not allow us to be homeless.
We don't know where to go again.
The protesters also argued that no prior or adequate notice was given before the 14-day eviction ultimatum, which they describe as sudden and harsh.
So please, this thing that is happening here now is creating a serious chaos here. People are dying. So we are calling for on the government, Senator Hope Uzodinma Onwoyoko, to please come for our aids. And then call us, let us have a meeting, and then let us have a dialogue. If we are living here, where are we going? People are dying. Everybody here is stranded.
Reacting to the situation, the Imo State Commissioner for Power and Electricity, Mr. Onwabweze Ogweshinti, states that the area in question was legally acquired by the state government over 2 decades ago for the transmission line project, and their compensations were paid at the time.
The area you're talking about is the Aloji Owerri 330 kV double circuit transmission line. This project started quite some time now, but this government was stopped. So this government took up the project. And sometime last year, we awarded the job of installation and erection of that line, that transmission line. It's a line that has not been duly acquired. That line has been duly acquired for right of way transmission line. When I say duly acquired, what that means that compensation and everything has been settled. And so they carried out, the project even started or stopped midway. So whoever that allocated those lands was a fraud. So what is happening now that anybody who is on that route now is an illegal.
As the eviction deadline approaches, residents of Issues of Community remain uncertain about the future of their homes, expressing hope that the government will address the issue through dialogue and mutual understanding. Eyitope Kutei, Channels Television News.
Section 1 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway may be closed to traffic if persistent indiscipline by motorists continues to endanger lives and disrupt construction work. The Minister of Works, Mr. David Umahi, gave the warning in Lagos during the parade of suspected vandals caught removing cat's eye reflective lights on the 3rd mainland bridge. He noted that road indiscipline is damaging the newly laid pavement and endangering the lives of construction workers.
We were tempted to close the coastal highway in December, but the president directed that we should not. And so we had to beg the contractor, who is still working, day and night, to deliver the project. Only today, the worst situation happened, where the contractor worker was killed, while working. and he was walking at the shoulder, totally off the carriageway. And so the very high speed of vehicles, came and they brought down 2 concrete solar poles and veered off again and killed the worker of the contractor instantly. And so I'm here to do a meeting with the contractor, because if the lives of their workers cannot be safe, we refuse to work. And so if we're able to calm the situation, it will be important for Lagos State government, together with security agencies, to deploy their men and control traffic. Because if we can reach understanding with the contractor and appeal to them with the assurances that the Lagos State government, LASMA, and of course the police, road safety, will be deployed, to check these excesses and safeguard the safety of the workers of the contractor and of course the infrastructure there, then we will allow the traffic to flow. But if after 1 week the situation remains the same, people are driving against traffic, there is excess speeding, then we have no choice than to close the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway Section 1 against traffic until we finish, probably in April.
Economic and financial experts say adoption of new tax laws by Nigeria would speed up if investment opportunities are clearly understood, as the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Lagos Province 35, holds its 2026 economic outlook. That's in a moment. Join us again. Welcome back. We're still talking infrastructure. The Edo State government says over 250 kilometers of road projects are currently under construction in line with the Shine agenda of Governor Monday Okpebholo. The Commissioner for Works, Felix Akabwe, confirmed this during an inspection tour of key infrastructure projects in Benin City, the state capital.
The assessment begins in the South Senatorial District at the 7.5-kilometer Government Science and Technical College Road and its surrounding environs.
This is the number 7 street is going down. Then 6th Street is connected to the main alignment road, which I'm doing presently. My equipment, they are walking down there. Down here? Yes. Yes. Well done.
From there, the team moves to other project sites, including the 7-kilometer Okun Road and the erosion control project at the Catholic Charismatic Renewal Road, where residents express appreciation to the state government. The tour continues to the Ramat Park flyover, described as one of the biggest projects currently under construction, with work already at an advanced stage. Speaking on the assessment so far, the team lead and Edo State Commissioner for Works, Felix Akabwe, says over 250 kilometers of road projects are ongoing across the state, with many more expected to commence.
Whereas today, the state government is constructing well over 200 kilometers of road, 250 kilometers of road, over 250 kilometers of road across the state. And more projects are still coming in, the ones that are presently ongoing. So more roads are going to be captured in the next few months.
On the quality of work done so far, Mr. Kabwe commends the contractors, noting that they were selected based on their proven track records in road construction.
We ensure that we select contractors that are capable of doing good job, that have track record, and we, on our part as ministry, we have qualified engineers who are also experienced, and they ensure that the construction company, they keep to specification, so we don't compromise that.
As the team proceeds to other locations, the Edo State government reaffirms that monitoring and supervision of projects will continue until all ongoing road projects are completed and delivered on schedule.
From infrastructure to education, the registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, has advocated for a more cordial working relationship between the examination body and Ministry of Education across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. He made the statement during a meeting with commissioners of education from the 6 geopolitical zones of the country in Lagos. The discussion also highlighted application of advanced technology for better biometric verification and real-time results for the 2026 exercise.
This meeting, held under the auspices of the Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, is attended by commissioners of education from across the country.
Registration is available in all JAMB offices. Go ahead.
The meeting aims to streamline tertiary admissions management with a focus on fortifying accredited CBT centers nationwide and resolving technical anomalies.
So we have said this year, it's not compulsory, it's not an offense to be in the university or polytechnic and want to go elsewhere, but disclose. Anybody who does not disclose, when of course we will find out, and that person will lose both the admission that he has gained and the one he's aspiring to. We want you to own the process, and that's why we are calling on you. And we want coordinated action between us and you, so that when we are singing the same song, there will be no hidden place, no hiding place for the criminals.
The stakeholders reached a consensus, but partnerships must enhance the reliability of the examination process and directly address the challenges faced by candidates.
Transfers and movement of children cannot be done from school to school except with very powerful reasons and with the notification of our school managers, so that we curtail the issue of exam malpractice across our schools.
It's our duty as honorable commissioners in our respective subnationals to ensure that the very good and comprehensive policy of JAMB is made to percolate to our domains and to ensure that these things are kept to the last, so that we have an examination, not just an examination body that has integrity and can give us the assurances of the quality of students that we throw into our tertiary institutions.
Anybody who is for, speak for 1 minute. Anybody who is against, speak for 1 minute, then we will vote.
As with previous sessions, this meeting between the JAMB Registrar and Commissioners of Education aims to ensure a concerted, hitch-free and credible administration of the UKNE. Key priorities include communicating policy changes, operating CBT centers, and leveraging state-level grassroots structures to curb examination malpractices.
And Blenders Association of Nigeria have staged a protest at the Lagos office of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, over the agency's enforcement of a ban on the production and sale of alcoholic beverages in sachets. The association said the policy would add to the growing unemployment rate in the country.
The workers converged on the Lagos office of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, to protest against the agency's decision to ban production and sale of alcoholic drinks in sachets and PET bottles. The workers, who were joined by members of the Trade Union Congress and Nigeria Labour Congress, carried placards while chanting solidarity songs. According to the union leaders, enforcement of the ban could result in loss of jobs and investment.
If these jobs are taken away, then what happens to us? Human beings must live. Then it means we'll be left to look for any way to now live, which of course is not the agenda of Mr. President. So we are using this medium to call on the President. Please, kindly call the DG of NAFDAC to order.
They affirmed that proper regulation through access control and advocacy are globally accepted as a sustainable approach in resolving such issue.
We are not making it for children. That one is clear. We've said that it is not for children, it is meant for adults. If you are less than 18 years, you can't take it. Those who sell it, if anybody is selling to somebody who is a minor, that person is one that should go and take. We have said that access control is what we should be talking about. There was a time growing up, you have this off and on license. You cannot just buy drinks anywhere. So when we put all this in place, which is what we talked about in the national alcohol policy that we have come up with, even under the Ministry of Health, that is the Ministry of NAFDAC, that let us be able to put a control on these things, that anybody who wants to have it, there's a particular specific place where they can take it. If you are of a young age, you cannot go and have it. If you are sent by an elderly person, that person is the one you are going to go and find a way of bringing and now, addressing or even prosecuting if you want to do that.
Nigeria hear our cry. Nigeria hear our cry. Tinubu hear our cry.
As enforcement is set to begin, these protesting workers hope that stay of execution by the regulatory agency is achieved.
Meanwhile, the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has insisted that there is no going back on the ban on alcohol in sachets unless a legislative or legal directive allows otherwise. She met with leaders of the labor unions following that protest at the agency's office. The NAFDAC boss said that the move to enforce the ban was not a punishment, but a necessary public health intervention.
I was brought up to trade, so I know the penny. So it's not like, she doesn't even understand where the shoe is hurting. I know where the shoe is hurting. But if it's going to be on the back of children, we have to think twice. What our own liver can take, the children's liver may not be able to take it. We are thinking about this in terms of protection and lengthening the lifespan of a child. Our stand is we obey those who created the law for us. That's it. It's in the interest of public health, not it's interest of public health. That's what I mean. Because the probability that a child has started drinking at the age of 10 will have liver cirrhosis by 40 is very high probability, because you have to prove it. You keep, cooking. You cook because alcohol is like almost it cooks. You want to do marinated something, chicken, you put it in alcohol, it will turn it as if it's cooking it. It changes the protein. So if a child started very early, the liver will never be the same by the age of 40. Why should we be dying at 60, 40, 50? Why?
More appeals to NAFDAC as the civil society group has asked the federal government to revisit the ban to avert job losses. Addressing journalists in Abuja after a peaceful protest at the entrance of the National Assembly, the convener, Mr. Oluha Chukwudi, says the enforcement will lead to a loss of indigenous businesses. He adds that there is a need for NAFDAC to respect the directive issued by the Federal Ministry of Health for a one-year extension to enable stakeholders address gray areas.
The resultant effect will be a loss of over 1.9 trillion investment. I just said it. By indigenous company, with attendant mass retrenchment of over 500,000 direct jobs and approximately 5.5 million indirect jobs through contracts marketing, and other logistics. This is not healthy for Nigeria. Reduction in capacity, utilization, and manufacturing, with recent quarterly economic indices, suggests a gradual upward move owing to revenue from alcohol industry's contribution as a component of food and beverage sector. This is what we are yearning for. The next is that the Senate rescinds the order and also restrain the NAFDAC from implementing the illegal ban, which they say started on December 35th, 2025. Pending the full implementation of the multi-sectoral framework for national alcohol policy. Then lastly, that the NAFDAC DG should desist forthwith from further running the agency like a private business enterprise. NAFDAC is not her cocoa palm plantation. It is.
To other matters now, discussions around the new tax law and investment opportunities have extended into the clergy as the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, Lagos Province 35, holds its 2026 economic outlook. The event brought together key economists, financial experts, as well as church members to share their perspectives on the matter.
As Nigerians adjust to the new tax laws, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Bagada, Lagos, believes that adoption will be accelerated if investment opportunities are known. This has motivated the theme, Navigating Tax Reforms and Investment Opportunities for their 2026 Economic Outlook. The Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Eno's perspective is that Nigerians should be moving from the stage of shock absorption to consolidation.
So I think that if there is a government that I think all of us need to be united to work with it to get these things to happen. The fear, for example, is that a lot of these reforms can be reversed. We are not yet at a point of irreversibility, no? That yesterday can still happen, can still come. The only thing that will make it not happen is for us to have a determination not to have it reversed. I think that we need to create those jobs that will power our economy, that will strengthen our country and our nation for generations to come.
Practical opportunities and realities are highlighted by a panel moderated by Channel TV's business correspondent, Ini John Mekwa.
The opportunity to get a refund on your VAT.
Economists Mr. Bismarck Ruwani and Dr. Muda Yusuf share their perspectives on the risk of expanding the tax net.
People are allergic to paying taxes if they're not getting value in return. They believe that money going into government is money going out, and they are not getting return. They are building their own road, doing their own water borehole, and all of that. So fundamentally, what are we getting in return for paying taxes?
The risk of these companies transferring it to their consumers. Because for them, they will see it as additional cost. And invariably, they will pass it on to consumers. So the very poor people that you say we have exempted, at the end of the day, in many of these instances, they will be the one to also pay part of it.
Tax partner at KPMG West Africa shares ideas on presumptive tax.
Under the presumptive tax regime, there's going to be simplified tax returns for companies that will be operating in the informal sector. So the essence is to create that enabling compliance framework to help small businesses, even medium and large businesses, easing their compliance burdens.
As discussions continue around implementation and compliance, participants say understanding the opportunities embedded in the new tax framework will be key to easing the transition, attracting investment, and driving sustainable economic growth.
Hello and welcome to Sports News. We begin with the African Champions League, where Nigerian representatives Rivers United have secured their first points this season's edition, following a goalless draw with Zambian side Power Dynamos, a result that keeps them third at the group at the halfway point of the competition. The stalemate at the Levi Nwanamwasa Stadium came after they had lost their opening 2 matches, leaving them desperate to kickstart their campaigns. And Power Dynamos, backed by home support, tried to impose themselves through quick transitions and balls into the channels. But Rivers United, however, remained compact and disciplined, limiting clear chances and slowing the tempo whenever pressure mounted. Well, that's your sports news tonight. I am Kelly Egigas. Back to Melinda.
Many thanks, Kelly. On the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to slap tariffs on all Canadian goods if the country's prime minister strikes a trade deal with China. On his social media platform, Truth Social, President Trump wrote that if Canada makes a deal with China, it will immediately be hit with a 100% tariff against all Canadian goods and products coming into the United States. Tensions between Mr. Trump and the Canadian Prime Minister have escalated in recent days after Mr. Carney said in a speech in Davos, Switzerland, that he's pushing against the world's great powers. He recently met with Chinese President Xi Jinping and announced their countries had reached a trade deal that included electric vehicles. Police in Minneapolis say a 37-year-old man has died after being shot by an immigration officer. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino says officers had tried to disarm an individual who had approached ICE agents with a semi-automatic handgun. The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he valiantly resisted, fearing for his life. The Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots. Medical aid was given straight away, but the man was pronounced dead at the scene. U.S. President Donald Trump accused the mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of Minnesota of fomenting an insurrection. And the main news again. The Forum of former federal legislators have advocated the need to maintain rotational presidency between the North and South for the sake of unity and national development. The governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, has said that the PDP will shock its critics in the upcoming Osun and Ekiti governorship elections. That's the news at 10 tonight. I'm Melinda Kinlami on behalf of the team.